You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, what a terrible day to be a Houston Astros fan. We have a lot to get to tonight on the Locked On Astros Postcast. I hope you guys are ready for some venting. Not only did the Astros just blow a game that they should have won, they also got taken to the woodshed today when it comes to building a roster in Major League Baseball. A joke of a day in a season that started off as a joke, to be completely honest with you, that has turned back around, that has you hoping for more. An absolutely pitiful display of general managing today and playing. And of course, we're going to do a lot of venting, more than anything else here, to start the show on the trade that went down, because it is still so mind-blowing what has happened with the Astros today and what has happened with this franchise in general that I can't not talk about it ad nauseum for a bit. So we'll get to all that. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to get your parts fast. Shop for your next plumbing, h-vac, and electrical job, and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. They, of course, bring you today's episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast. All right, well, let's go. If you were for some reason under a rock and you are just now stopping by to watch the show, first of all, welcome all. I expect the number to keep going up because I think all of you are as angry tonight as I am. And we all have every reason in the world to be. I could genuinely, I haven't had this feeling in a very long time. Now, look, I used to live in a world, if you're familiar with my work, well, first of all, thank you for sticking with me forever. If you're not, again, hit that subscribe button. You'll get more of it. I used to be on the radio at the Astros flagship station. And there's a lot of things you can't say. Not even that. I'll say this. The Astros never controlled anything we said. But if you said things that were too over the top or you're too honest or whatever, look, you're gonna hear something occasionally. I don't have to do that anymore. And I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to toe the line a little bit or try to find the optimistic view on things. And the people that are, cleat sniffers and whatever that are in the blog boy world and all that are going to do that now. I'm trying to find there's no silver lining tonight. There's none. Not at all. You have a general manager who is not qualified to be a general manager. Flat out, period, end of story. Dana Brown is not a GM. There is a reason why he was a scouting director at best for years. He is a scout. And that's okay. That is okay. There's a reason why he never really got interviews to be a GM. I mean, seriously. And the Astros went through that process after letting James Click go, and it was just well, Dana Brown. And he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He's a baseball guy. He gives more answers than James Click used to. He's better with the media. Great, cool, fun. He's bad at his job. What did he do this offseason? He sat on his hands the entire time. And then when the Astros had a problem after Kendall Graveman went down, he, probably from the direction of the owner, who's off doing God knows what on a golf course at times, they're over there throwing out $95 million to a closer that they didn't need. They had no need for Josh Hader. They could have spread that money around and not put themselves in luxury tax hell and used it in other places and upgraded their roster throughout the season, whatever it might have been. Josh Hader, now look, he blew it tonight. He has had a horrible problem at giving up home runs this season. He's not been the worst thing in the world. Just the home runs have been horrible. He got on a good run. All of his underlying numbers still say he's an elite level player. So, I'm not even mad at him. I'm just mad at the decision-making process that keeps happening in this organization. They've lost their way. The Astros have lost their way. It's blatantly, it's just so obvious. So obvious. This used to be a team. Now, analytics aren't everything. I get it. And this trade market that's going on right now is wild. It is the time to be a seller on the trade deadline market at this moment, which trade deadline tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. Hopefully we won't have anything else to come and yell about. But, yeah, I just want to say bad things. And I can't even do that. Like, you trade Joey Loperfido, Jake Bloss, and Will Wagner. Now, look, Will Wagner's a 26-year-old prospect. He's nothing to get worried about. Loperfido has clear deficiencies in his game. He's got a very uppercut swing. The pitch up in the zone is always going to be a problem for him. But here's the thing. In Bloss, like everybody's, well, Bloss is no guarantee. Bloss isn't this. Okay, but you saw him pitch in the big leagues, 3 times? You didn't even have him in the organization for barely a year. And yes, circumstances pushed him. Here's the biggest issue. If these two guys hadn't gotten a taste of Major League Baseball, you don't freak out as bad tonight, correct? You still freak out. But Loperfido, got a lot of love early in the season. He was incredible. You expected a lot of great things. And to make all of this worse is that you gave up all of this capital for a player that will be here for August and September. That's it. Because right now you can't even guarantee me that you're going to October. Nobody in the AL West wants to win the division. But you can't guarantee me that right now. And then once you get there, where's Yusei Kikuchi fitting into this rotation in the postseason? Where? Tell me. Please tell me. Is he pitching ahead of Ronel Blanco? Absolutely not. Is he pitching ahead of Framber Valdez? Absolutely not. Is he pitching ahead of Justin Verlander? Absolutely not. Is he pitching ahead of Hunter Brown? Guess what? Same answer. Stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. You gave up 3 prospects for 2 months of a guy with an ERA over 5. He's got, if you want to be scared tonight, go look at his game log for his last few starts. We all know Yusei Kikuchi. You know him well if you've watched the Astros through this run. He was with the Mariners. The Astros used to just beat the you-know-what out of him. He's got stuff. Sure, he can still rack up strikeouts. I get it. Cool. Nice. Oh, he can eat innings. Wow. Cool. Nice. If you need innings, crap, just go out there and sign. Isn't Dallas Keuchel a free agent again? Like, just go out there and sign Dallas Keuchel and don't give up a bunch of prospects. Honestly. Like, if that's what you're looking for, if that's what you need, even just giving up, like, I was mad when it was just Jake Bloss. But you decided to you got dunked on. And to make it worse, the man who's part of that organization over there with Toronto completely slapped it in your face tonight, did James Click. He and that organization there with the Blue Jays. And you know what? Good for James Click. Good for him getting back at Jim Crane for the way that he was treated when the Astros won the World Series in 2022. Did James Click build the Astros core of that roster that won that World Series? No, of course not. That was Jeff Luhnow and his crew. But James Click came in and did anything miss a beat? Honestly, did anything miss a beat when James Click came in? Nope. He got some extensions done. One for Jordan. He made some really smart trades. He made some really smart signings. It was like, oh, wow, analytics. Who would have known? But let's veer away from that. Let's bring in a scouting director. A guy who's never had a hint of being a GM. Let's win the World Series and let Dusty Baker, a 70-something-year-old man who's got 1 year left in managing, win a battle between he and James Click. Because that's what happened. You want to know the truth of the matter. You want to know the truth. That's what happened. That entire 2022 season, if you were around the Astros at all, you would have heard it. And trust me, I heard all the stories. There's damn near fights in the clubhouse when Dusty Baker nixed the trade for Contreras that season with the Cubs. Now, James Click damn near lost his mind. And he should have. Because Dusty decided, I'm going to go complain and find my way to get to it. It basically, I mean, Dusty and James didn't talk. They didn't have a relationship. It's crazy. All that happened, and you look at where you've gone from there. You win a World Series. There'll be like one other team in the history of the sport that won a World Series, then let their general manager go after winning it. Joke. It's a joke. We let it go by because, look, they just won a World Series. We have the high from it. We're all feeling great. And the core of the team was still there to where you think it's just going to continue. And look, yeah, last year they almost won they almost went back to the World Series again. There was nothing that Dana Brown did last year to make that team any better. There was nothing that, I mean, he got hired so late in the offseason, he couldn't do anything. They made all their moves before with Jeff Bagwell in order. But tonight you got your first look at a general manager in a tough spot. And this is the difference between the good ones and the bad ones. In these moments, in the past, master negotiators, whether it's Click or whether it's somebody who was cutthroat like Jeff Luhnow was, they were going out there, they were swinging for the fences. And then when it came to those trades, they weren't getting raked over the coals with it. Shame on Dana Brown for what he did tonight to this organization. Shame on James or Jeff. I can't even say that. That's how mad I am. Shame on Jim Crane for putting this franchise in a spot that he has. They've lost their way. They have lost their way. We got more to talk about with it. Let's talk about Dana Brown being on the hot seat because he very absolutely should be on the hot seat. We'll talk about it here in a couple of brief moments on the Locked On Astros Postcast. But right now, I want to talk to you about getting your fit right, and that's with StitchFix.com/MLB. You know that instant confidence boost that you get from an outfit that makes you look really good? Well, that's what you get with Stitch Fix. You can easily upgrade that wardrobe this year with a professional stylist that helps you find new on-trend favorites that will work for you. Stitch Fix makes it all so easy. You don't even have to like to shop. They save you that time and that effort, plus you get outfits that make you look great and feel really good. It's style that makes you feel as you look. Get started at StitchFix.com/MLB and get $20 off your first fix. That's StitchFix.com/MLB for $20 off. StitchFix.com/MLB. Must redeem within 7 days of sign up. Offer does not include kids' fixes. Sorry, you got to watch me drink water. All 160 of you watching right now because I'm just parched at this point because I feel like I'm going to scream through the... I'm sure I'm waking up everybody in my house. Welcome to the Locked On Astros Postcast tonight. If you're joining us live and you haven't joined us before, thanks for stopping by. We do this every night after the Astros games. We're going to do this Thursday for the first time when the Texans play in the Hall of Fame game against the Bears. And you know what? Maybe that'll bring me a little bit of joy because the Texans right now actually have a competent GM in Nick Caserio. Hey, the Rockets do too. Astros, nah. They got Dana Brown over there who's just going to keep telling you about nothing. He keep giving you word salad all day long. You guys keep gobbling it up like it's something great. Stupid trade by the Astros tonight. But please hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. I would absolutely appreciate it. Let's talk about Dana Brown's job security at the moment. Now, Jim Crane has shown that he's willing to move on from people. I don't know what his contract is. I can't imagine it was more than like a 3-year deal when he signed his. Look, I'm going to be honest with one trade, you can absolutely lose any faith based off one trade. And I don't know that necessarily any of those guys that they gave up are going to be superstars, but there's no way of knowing either way. I see deficiencies in Joey Loperfido's game at the plate. You know, he's going to strike out a lot. He's going to be susceptible to balls up in the zone. I get that with that uppercut swing. But there's some power there. We showed he flashed an incredible defense. And if he can be a player that's a positive WAR player on a major league team for years, then that's something that you can have a value. And I think that's the hardest part of it, is think about all the years of control that you have given up on players to get 2 months of a pitcher. 2 months. This is a deal you should have made for Garrett Crochet of the White Sox. Honestly, you should have done these 3 players, plus whatever else the White Sox would have wanted. You get Crochet, you give him his extension that he wants, and everybody's happy. And we're not sitting here yelling at you and calling you stupid tonight. Like, I hate to be that way, but that's genuinely what this was. This was the definition of stupid. And Dana Brown's seat has to be blazing hot. And if it's not blazing hot, Jim Crane needs somebody to come up to him and slap him in the face. This is the truth. He is a great owner. He has been a great owner. And yes, you can still say that despite these deficiencies that he has shown in the last few years. He took a franchise that was nothing and advanced it to a spot where they have been the biggest machine in the sport now for basically 10 years. And that's great. And you build a lot of love and a lot of credit. But with that, you also build a bigger, higher expectation level every single season. Every season. The bar keeps going up and up and up. It's not going to stop. Not going to stop. And it shouldn't stop. And this team tonight and this franchise's ability, they always talk about the window's not closed. We're going to keep the window open. These are the kind of moves that don't allow you to keep a window open. This is what helps shut them quickly. It is. They've done a lot of things throughout the years to hurt their chances of keeping it open longer and longer and longer. And they're going to make this worse. They will make this worse. And I don't necessarily sit here and think that you should pay Alex Bregman a ton of money. I think if you got him on a fair deal that works for you, that's no more than 5 years, like you could consider that. But if they let him walk and then eventually they let Kyle Tucker walk, because right now, what evidence do we have that they're going to do that? What evidence do we have that Dana Brown's group, Dana running the show with whoever's still around in that baseball ops department, what evidence have they given us that they make smart decisions? Not much. And of all the GMs that the Astros have had here, he's inherited the toughest situation. I can give him that because he inherited a roster that was so locked in money-wise. And this also screams, okay, so you did all of this and you didn't want to get over the second luxury tax apron. Okay, great. If you're going to do that, I mean, why not make the trade that the Royals made earlier today for Michael Lorenzen? Or why not go find somebody who's going to cost you less than this? But I can say all that. I don't know if Dana Brown would have done it for less than this. I really don't. I think that he gave you a clear view of he panicked. He panic shopped tonight. And now every GM in the sport knows that he is a panic shopper. And every GM in the sport knows, hey, you know who I can get over on? Dana Brown. That's who I can get over on. Seller's market, yes. The prices are insane for these players that are marginal players in a lot of instances. There's not a lot of superstars moving at this deadline. There's not. There's not a lot of big difference makers in the month of October that are moving during this deadline. But you can't pay like this. You just can't. I mean, how are you going to do anything else? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't. And real quick, I just want to stop for a brief second and say this is officially the most people we've had watching during one of these shows. And I appreciate all of you coming in and saying, or at least watching for a minute. Hit the subscribe button while you're here. Maybe we'll do this again tomorrow where we're yelling at everybody. But, if Dana Brown's seat is not piping hot at this moment, Jim Crane is not paying attention to his investment, what he has in front of him. He's an absent owner at this point. An absent owner that only comes in and dictates, I want stars. Maybe that article and all that talk of Jim Crane having that Jerry Jones complex a little bit is coming to fruition. But I do know this. He's got Dana Brown in charge. And tonight, don't get that twisted. Dana Brown made this trade. Not Jim Crane. Dana Brown made it. And this is going to be the move that defines his GM career. It is. Because the stakes for a guy in the position that he's in with a franchise that is in a league that, by the way, we've talked about a lot lately. The American League is incredibly winnable for a team that still is so banged up. You know, it's a winnable league. All you got to do is get to October. Does this does this trade even move the needle on them, on their chances at getting to October? I don't think it does. I don't. I've seen all these people, tweeting this and that, or, writing stories like, I like this guy, like there's underlying this, there's underlying strikeouts. That's what there is. There's underlying strikeouts with Yusei Kikuchi. That's it. That's it. He's not even a great innings eater. Like, that's the other thing. You got to eat innings. You got to get something to eat innings. I understand that Jake Bloss wasn't eating innings, and he wasn't going to do that for this team at all this season. Again, you could have just gone out there and found somebody else. And like I said, Dallas Keuchel was a street free agent. Now, he'd go out there and give you 5 innings in a start, probably 4.5, whatever. Probably give you more than what you get out of him. Kikuchi has pitched 115 innings this season, 115 and 2/3. The most he's ever pitched is 167 and 2/3 last season. He's not a good innings eater. It's all, you got to have somebody eat the innings, which I get. Like, okay, so maybe he eats a few more innings than anybody else, but let's go ahead and look at you want to take a look at his month of July real quick? Let's just actually, you know what? Let's go back to June 1. How many innings he eats per start? 5 1/3, 6, 5, 4, 2, 5, 5 2/3, 7 1/3, 4 2/3, 5, 4 2/3. Guess what I hear a lot of? 5 or less. I mean, how many times the guy's even reached 6 innings in a start? 9 of his 22 starts this year, he's gone 6 or more. That's not a good percentage. He's not an innings eater. And I feel bad for him because he's going to wear this. Like, if he sucks, he's going to get booed. And this isn't his fault. It's not. It's not his fault. And I hope that actually people are nice to him at Minute Maid Park. He does not deserve that. He got traded in a deal where the former GM looked at that franchise, said, there's some guys there that I drafted that I really like, and I want to get some revenge, and they are so desperate. I know how desperate they are. Let's go get them. That's what happened tonight. Let's talk some more about this. Can there be any more moves tomorrow? We'll do it all here in just a second on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trade, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. Sorry. I try to beat the clock every time so you guys don't have to watch me chug down water in the middle of these. Oh, what a night. What a bad night. We haven't even talked about the loss on top of it. I mean, just what a perfect end of the day. On a night where you should have won. And Paul Skeens pitched for the Pirates tonight. You should have won this baseball game. Coming into this one tonight, I thought for sure they'll lose. Whatever. This will be the game in the series they lose. Win the next 2. Move on from it. They had the win right there. Ryan Presley's in a funk at the moment. He's been bad. And then Josh Hader comes in and says, hold my beer, watch this. I'm going to give up another home run. All I've done this season is give up home runs. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. For a team that is now, what are they at now? I don't even know what their record is. 55 and 51, correct? Is that the record at this point? I didn't even pull up the box score. Yes, 55 and 51. Which, by the way, they blew a chance tonight to add on to to get back ahead of Seattle. because Seattle got crushed tonight in Boston, which is, yay, great, fun. Seattle loses. Oh my God. I'm exhausted. It's Monday. I'm exhausted and it's Monday. That's what they've done to me. We still have a whole day of this tomorrow. The trade deadline, again, not till 5 o'clock tomorrow night. By the way, the Rangers won today, too, so they gained a game in the West. So, yay! Yay! So happy. This has to be the mad. We've done some shows this year where I've been upset and mad because the team has played so poorly, but I can't tell you if there's been a show like this one because this is just, again, just next level stupidity, period. I don't know that you make any more trades at this point. I'm going to be, I would have been better. I would have been happier if they didn't make a trade. I would have. I would have been happier if they just said, nope, just going to hold on to what we got. We don't want to overpay. I mean, would the players love it in the clubhouse? No. And that's a big thing that, remember back in 2017 when they didn't do anything other than Francisco Liriano? And it set the clubhouse off pretty bad. And it took the deadline that does not exist anymore, the waivers deadline, the waivers deadline in August to get that Verlander deal done to inject the clubhouse with some positivity again. But this is it. Tomorrow's it. That's it. There's no more. The only thing that you could hope for is that bad teams at the end of the season that don't pull off trades just release some guys and you possibly get a chance at getting them. Possibly. But then it's like, that's not going to happen. It's not something you can rely on. They've painted themselves into this corner. And again, if you're making trades for this team and where their money's at, I mean, who cares who cares? Jim Crane is making buku's amounts of money. I don't care. I don't care to hear if the TV deal is not so profitable. It's got to be more profitable now than it was before. I mean, look at the gate. They're like 4th in attendance this season. You guys go out and spend. Have you seen the prices at the ballpark? It's like $40 for a beer. Seriously, I went to the game. I've only been this is the least amount of games I've been to in person in my life. I've been to one game this season. It was the first series of the year against the Yankees. I think it was the 4th game, the Sunday game. And we paid for 2 beers at the bar, and it was $40-something for 2 beers. They're making cash left. I mean, just left and right. Just unbelievable amounts of cash. And they're rewarding us by having a bad GM. Look at last year. I love Justin Verlander. You love Justin Verlander. He absolutely helped the Astros down the stretch last year. He was actually good in the postseason last year. And look at what they gave up to get him back. After not just spending your money that you have to keep him. You could have just done that. You could have said, I'm not going to sign Jose Abreu. I'm not going to sign Michael Brantley back. I'm not going to sign Rafael Montero back. I'm going to give Justin Verlander $43 million a year. Could have done that. But instead, we spread it out to a bunch of guys that are washed. So you trade all those. You trade Drew Gilbert. You trade Clifford. And now you've traded Loperfido, Bloss, and Wagner. 5 players to bring in Kikuchi for 2 months and a hurt Justin Verlander. Looks good. It's a real resume builder if you're a GM. Real resume builder. I don't think that they're going to make any other moves. I don't. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they do something that's shockingly great. And, it looks good tomorrow. But I'm going to go ahead and guess that the Astros will sit on their hands, not get anything done because the market are going to say, the market was so expensive. I mean, we did our one move. We got the guy, we got that guy that we were looking for the whole time. We really felt that, we got to pay a premium for him. Stupid. Can't even re-sign him, honestly. I mean, I don't know that he's going to get much more than the $36 million deal that he's coming off of with the Blue Jays, but you don't even want to re-sign him, especially if he comes here and he stinks. And guess what? His track record this season says he's going to come here and he's going to stink. He was terrible. He's giving up runs left and right. The guy's got a whip. What's his whip on the season? That's always my favorite number is his whip. What's his whip at? His whip's at 1.3. Oh, boy. You know what this team needs? More guys that put guys on base. I guess he doesn't walk a ton of guys. He just gives up, I don't know, a ton of hits. He's given up 125 hits in 115 and 2/3 innings. Yeah. Oh. Are we sure we're not living in a simulation? Are the baseball gods paying us back for all the great years that we've had? We're just going to say, hey, we're going to tear you back down and we're going to turn this thing back into the 2008 Astros. Where Ed Wade and his high water pants were out there making deals for like Sean Chacon and a bunch of guys from the Phillies that he used to have, and Brett Myers of the world, and signing the Pudge Rodriguez, and just trading for LaTroy Hawkins, those kind of things. Are we back to that? No, those days are actually better than this. Dana Brown's worse than Ed Wade. He's worse than Tim Purpura. Crap. He's worse than Tim Purpura. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I'm telling you right now, you got to fix your ways. You got to go back. You got to beg and plead and ask James Click or Jeff Luhnow, one of the guys at the J, come back and run this organization. And they whiffed this offseason. Look at what they tried to do this offseason. If you don't remember that, they were interested in bringing David Stearns back, letting him be the president of baseball operations. Well, that's what should have happened. That's what should have happened. That way you could keep Dana Brown in the title of GM and just have him run the draft. Have him do what he's good at, scouting players. And then have David Stearns, president of baseball operations, making all the big moves at the big league level, doing all the smart things. But the Astros let him get to the Mets. And you could have gotten him here. His wife's from here. There's a reason why he was interested in coming back multiple times throughout the years. Or you could do this too. You could have called, and I know this because I've heard this from people. Mike Elias for years would have come back to the Astros. Would have. Absolutely. Because Baltimore's situation has been terrible with the ownership. Now it's getting better. They just, whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my night, guys. I guess I'm going to go to bed. It's 10:35. I got a long day tomorrow. I got a lot of things to do, including watching for the trade deadline. Hopefully something good happens. I don't have a lot of faith in it happening. By the way, the Astros lost tonight. I know that we just spent 33 minutes basically talking about a trade that is mind-blowing. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I mean that. It means the world that you come to me for some Astros opinion and want to listen to me vent and rant and whatever. If you are new to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you click the subscribe button. Come on back. We do this, like I mentioned, after Astros games. We'll do this Thursday night for the first time after a Texans game. We'll have a Locked On Texans postcast talking Texans-Bears Hall of Fame game. We'll also have Rockets season coming up and Cougs football and some select basketball throughout the year. So lots to talk about and less bad stuff when it comes to trades, hopefully. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday night if you can. Get that bad taste out of your mouth. I don't think you're going to. Try to get some sleep. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night after Astros and Pirates right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.